How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Two Penny Games Piggy Bank. My name is Phil. I'm your host for this lovely show that we record live every Monday afternoon over on twitch.tv/2pennygames. But if you can't catch us live over on Twitch, you can catch us over on youtube.com/@2pennygames every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central. Of course, I'm not by myself. I am only your host here with my good friends, one of them being Connor Elliott.
I always get introduced first because it is fitting my position. Now introduce the other guy.
Sometimes I mix it up. But across the table from him, we have Tavin Bothel.
What's poppin', players? How we feeling today? Happy Kendrick Day. What?
Kendrick Day was yesterday.
And today.
Fuck him up.
No, it's
and
not.
the day after. It's really just been a Kendrick year.
It's
365 days of just Kendrick whooping ass.
Yeah, because you never shut up about him for the entire year. I don't think there's a day that goes by where you don't mention him.
No,
that's in some form.
That's not true.
In some form.
That's not true.
That is definitively
There's
true.
definitely been days where I'm not talking about Kendrick.
That's Tavin's strain of OCD.
I guess it is, because he sings.
He's got to mention him every day, otherwise his
counts.
family dies, you know?
Kendrick is a bastard if he's doing that.
Huh?
What?
He's making it to where you have to say it every day, or your family dies.
Do you not know how OCD works?
You're still yeah, OCD. Do you actually think you're gonna die, or is it more just like a inherent compulsion? Yeah,
I mean, some people actually think like, oh, I have to do, like. Anytime I've ever seen it, sure, it might be just like a skewed thing, but it's always like, hey, why are you touching the doorknob 7 times? It's like, oh, so my mom doesn't die.
I feel like that was from a comedy show. I remember hearing something like that.
So in Always Sunny, Charlie's mom touches the door 3 times or its light switches 3 times. So Charlie doesn't die.
I remember that now. What, Mom? In his Charlie Day way, he's
I'm not gonna die, Mom.
Yeah, that's a better inflection of how he talks. I can't do the Charlie Day voice.
There's a really great episode of that show where they do an Inception where they kind of go into what people think is like really happening, because at some point like Danny DeVito is like really tall. He's like, no, this is regular. He's got like really long legs on, so they have like a funny effect on him. But Charlie Day, he has like another version of himself come in the bar while he's already in the bar, and they're like talking to each other back and forth. And he goes like, wait, are you supposed to be me? And he goes, yeah, I don't see it. And then they're all like, that's obviously you. And it's like, this guy looks nothing like me. And they both like get even higher. It's like, this guy's voice is way too high. He's like, are you kidding me? Your voice is really high. And like, they keep getting really high because that's just how he does the character.
I hadn't seen that episode, so I guess it's from the new seasons that I have missed.
I don't know if it's the most recent season, but it's within like the last 2 or 3.
That's why I haven't seen it. And Tavin over here is smirking. Not smirking. He's
just minding my business. I'm just minding my business.
Tim, this is how I draw other people into the conversation that can't talk about the amazing sitcom, the best sitcom that is Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's not the best.
It's pretty fucking good, Tavin. I know it's not your thing, but it's my favorite TV show.
It's all subjective anyway. What's yours, Tavin?
What's the best?
Yeah.
My favorite right now is Abbott Elementary. That's my favorite right now. Good. It hasn't been around long enough for me to call it the best, but it's I think it's well on its way to getting there. It's real good. I grew up a Friends person. I'm big on Friends. I'm trying to think of other sitcoms that I'm like all super gung-ho about. I've been very vocal on this podcast. The Office is the most overrated sitcom of all time.
Parks and Rec's really good.
Parks and Rec is really good. I want to go watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Every time I see Brooklyn Nine-Nine clips, I'm always like, this is really funny. Yeah. I want to watch it. But I'm also scared that it's only
started a couple times.
Yeah.
It's one that I've started a couple times, but I just haven't like dedicated time to like sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Always Sunny, I think is fine. I think it's kind of, I think it's pretty dumb humor. I think it's drunk humor. Like it's funny for drunks. Not as like a golden rule, but like, like generally or whatever. Yeah, I think Always Sunny is fine.
I think it's one of those situations where the comedy is so beyond you that you have to dumb yourself down and others down to get it.
Of course. Yeah, dumb myself down. Of course. Yeah.
You have to if you have to get drunk to do it, well, it seems like you have to force yourself to appreciate it.
Enrique in the chat, How I Met Your Mother is a classic show, but
How I Met Your Mother's good.
I'm not putting it in greatest of all time category, but it's really good. Really, really good.
That one's a good one. I've all the shows that we've named so far, aside from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I haven't really like sat down and watched it, I've like rewatched at least like 3 or 4 times, like throughout my life.
Yeah,
because we're younger guys.
Enrique in chat does say Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great, but fell off towards the end.
Okay.
Didn't it end?
Which end? Because it got canceled and then came back.
I'm assuming he means when it came back.
Probably when it came back, because it didn't come back for long, right? Only
for that one season to wrap it up.
Maybe
it got canceled after
the chief of that show died recently.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, also, well, that was, I want to say it was either last year or the year before.
Yeah, something like that. Also, that actor was in the Fantastic Four movies of the old Fox 2004, 2006 one.
Yep. Indeed. He was he would Reed Richards' bully in high school. He became a general.
Yeah.
I saw that clip going around. And
then Jessica Alba got hot for Reed Richards. Fucking shit.
Well, you know.
I keep seeing that clip of
brains are good.
Chris Evans, Johnny Storm coming out the shower, and then like the lady coming up and talking, hey, we got to go to this briefing right now, and he goes, were you just waiting for me to get out of the shower? And then like the steam comes off him because he turns it on just to evaporate the water on him. Fucking classic.
Good stuff.
Listen, I might need to go back and rewatch those movies because I don't think they're as bad as I remember them being.
I heard they're just mid. Very mid.
I rewatched the first one, I think, at some point last year, and it's still bad.
Bad? Oh, man.
Yeah.
The thing I saw people talking about is...
Very of its time.
That's true, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people were reminiscing about it due to the fact that it was colorful. It had a lot more of a poppy identity than the Marvel movies have been recently.
Yeah.
So people were kind of like
into the camp of the time.
Yeah.
You're looking at it. It was a imitator of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm, right.
And it clearly didn't do it as well.
Every superhero movie of that era tries to ape what Spider-Man had.
Until Iron Man. With the exception of Chris Nolan and Batman, but Chris Nolan is Chris Nolan, so you got to put him to the side.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think the big resurgence that like happened from like people wanting that stuff back is because of Deadpool and Wolverine, or like we had Chris Evans' Human Torch come back in the movie.
It's also we've got the new Fantastic Four coming around, so we're reminiscing on things from childhood.
Yeah. Marvel Rivals as well, pushing Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic Four kind of really getting pushed back into the mainstream, which I appreciate because I've that's always been a big blind spot for me, which is weird because they are huge. Like they're
Marvel's first family.
Yeah, in terms of like just Marvel in general, like they're close to being as big as Spider-Man, or at least they were once upon a time. When the movies started popping off, they faded into obscurity because we never got it right, and now they're coming back. And I'm kind of glad that they're
fairly certain they predate Spider-Man.
They do.
Oh yeah,
because Stan Lee made the Fantastic Four, then he made Spider-Man.
I was gonna say, that trailer for Fantastic Four was really, really good.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I watched it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I
thought it was really good.
Didn't like blow my hair back, but I'm just waiting for the full thing. I don't need a lot of information for this. This is clearly the one that Marvel's gonna start pushing all their chips in behind. Is clearly this and some of the other projects that they've got coming up. I'm not interested in the Thunderbolts at all.
Really? Oh, the last trailer really like kind of kicked it off for me. Like
I'm really only in it for Yelena, who I love, mostly just because it's Florence Pugh and I love her. But she was also excellent in Hawkeye. And Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier. I love Sebastian Stan's Bucky. So I'm in it for those two things. I'm mildly excited for this new Captain America, but I'm not
see, I'm more excited for Thunderbolts than I am the new Captain America.
It seemed more interesting on the outside.
I think the problem is that Captain America is inherently going to be compared to the other Cap movies, and those are going to clearly be better. I'm curious if this one's going to be better than Cap 1. If it's better than Cap 1, then it's a win in my books. But if it's worse than Cap,
goalpost.
Yeah, if it's worse than Cap 1, then we got a problem.
It's a good goalpost, yeah, for sure. I think it's enough talk about movies, gents. Of course, this is the Piggy Bank where we dive into our usual week in games, where we talk about just what we've been playing, what we're excited to play throughout the coming week, maybe a month. We look forward. We look pretty far forward sometimes, like in terms of what's coming out and what we're excited for. And but we also like to play mini games here on this show, where we come together and compete and have a great time talking about video games. Because who doesn't love talking about video games? Just real quick, just brush past. I still have not stopped playing Marvel Rivals, which we kind of touched on. We're talking about Fantastic Four and stuff. I played a little bit last night with you guys. That was a good time.
return for me and Tavin from playing it like a month ago almost.
Yeah, we've not played in at least 2 weeks, I want to say.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. I put a hard pause on it shortly after the Fantastic Four characters came out. Not shortly after. I played quite a bit of that, but
it was like a couple weeks after for sure.
Yeah, I put a hard pause on it, at least for Metal Gear, probably for something else. It's just been Metal Gear. And the Sly Cooper games, which I've now platinum Sly 2 and Sly 3.
Yep, very new exciting. Development for you. Very good, very good.
Yeah, so we jumped back in last night and I had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun to be had. I wish
DK says hit him up. He's a good healer.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, might do that.
You play on console or PC, Rike?
Yeah, where are you playing, Rike? Let us know. I think he's a PC guy. I think he's like.
No, I think he's Xbox.
I think he used to be Xbox, but he transferred over. But let us know. Both, shoddy. He's playing both.
All right.
We might have to dive into that, buddy.
Might have to extend that invitation. All right. Well, I've also been playing. I talked about last week on Piggy Bank when we were talking about right before we did the Metal Gear Snake Eater thing where I came over and we did the Piggy Bank before. But I dived back into my God of War Ragnarok, playing through the PS4 version to try to play through it again and get a second platinum, and then play through the Valhalla version after that.
Did you not play Valhalla when it came out?
No, I have never played the Valhalla.
Oh God, it's good. Oh, yeah, it's never. Good.
I'm in the middle of the town in the dwarf world, Svartalfheim.
Oh, that's like my least that's like my least favorite part of that game.
Svartalfheim.
Yeah. Just got to the big lake, so
the lake is good though. Giant turtle thing.
Yeah.
Phil, you asked before we started recording what I plan on being my 100th platinum game, and I didn't really have a solid answer for you. I was thinking Snake Eater, but it popped into my mind again because I was thinking about it yesterday. I think I might time it out to be one of the Final Fantasy VII remake games. I don't know which one, but it might be one of those.
Well, I mean, what you could do is for 99 have it be remake and then number 100 be rebirth. Yeah.
That's a lot of work, though.
It is.
That's so much work. And the thing is
give your boy time to catch up.
Yeah, I think statistic or percentage wise, I'm closer in rebirth. Remake is a smaller game generally, so it may take less time. I don't know. I've got to. What do I have? In rebirth, I have a hard mode playthrough, and then I've got to clean up some of the challenges. That's all I have left in rebirth. Remake, I've got pretty much all of that, but I have done none of the combat challenges, so that's a lot of work. But is it as much work as it is in Rebirth? I don't think it is.
I doubt it. I like you said, it's a smaller game. I feel like they're trying to be more focused on like what that game was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then they kind of blew their load in Rebirth in like a good way.
Well, let me say, they blew their load in both games.
Okay.
But the first one just has a smaller scope because it's not an open world.
Yeah, I need to get back to that platinum journey for myself as well, for remake, and then I can actually play through Rebirth.
Just so much work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot of grind and just work.
You're a platinum gamer. You'll be all right.
I am, but I've had the itch. I'm down the Final Fantasy VII hole again. I'm watching a lot of like theory videos and breakdowns again of what happened in Rebirth, where we're possibly heading, and so forth. Hitting the spoiler casts again. It's a good time. A lot of ideas. Connor. It's going to get crazy.
That's all they are, ideas. Everyone's mouthing off, saying which thing they want to talk about.
I think...
Losers.
I think we open part 3 with Tifa. Yeah. Because for plot reasons, Tifa has to have more agency in the story anyways. Mm-hmm. And if you know, you know.
That's true.
You only need to play the original to know what I'm talking about. So for plot reasons, she has to become more important. So I think we open on Tifa. Where do we open on Tifa? I don't know. It could be, Connor, we replay the beginning of the game, or we replay the end of Rebirth as our tutorial section, but from Tifa's perspective.
So the cloud mind break is at the end of Rebirth, I see. Okay.
I don't know what Tavin's talking about. That's weird.
You know what I'm talking about.
The final...
Yeah. That whole location.
Yeah.
I think we play a truncated version of it. It's not going to be as long, Obviously, because the final part of that part is not Tifa's not there, but that entire rest of the section, well, I think we play through from Tifa's perspective.
I feel like at that point you would just start out doing some weird plot shit that's not connected to the last game, but something that's new and relative to where they're going with 3.
Maybe, but I think because the end of that is so confusing, I think they need to reestablish what happened and give the players some definitive, oh, got it.
I think that's kind of, at this point, when you're in the 3rd game of a series like this, you're going to have played it or had knowledge of what happens until up to that point. So
here, I generally agree with you, Connor, but here's the thing. We didn't get iconic scenes that happen in that location. You know what I'm talking about? Specifically one that was promised to us in Remake with a flash. We got to talk off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too close to the sun.
That whole conversation, I was like looking over at my cat. I have a little cat bed like next to my like patio like sliding door, and she's snoring extremely loud, so I had to get her to stop doing that.
Good for her.
Yeah, she was slept. Let's go ahead and just dive into our first mini game, gents. I have for us a hit 10. Somewhat in the same vein of last week. I shouldn't say somewhat. It is pretty much in the same vein. Just instead of PS2 games, we're going to the Xbox 360. We're going to be talking about Phil's favorite Xbox 360 games. Top 10.
Harder. That's harder. That's a lot harder.
Speaking of Xbox 360 games, me and Tavin had a very fruitful discussion. I say fruitful, but we haven't had it yet, of the golden age of video games in our podcast that would have released earlier this week. So that's going to be an era of games that we're going to be talking about. In fact, it probably would have been good if we had talked about it first, because then we'd be like, oh, what would Phil like?
We've had some things gestated in our brains.
Yeah. But
did you guys talk about that on the Gamescast or what?
We're going to.
We're going to.
Oh,
there's not a lot of news this week.
Yeah, slower one. Slow week.
Understood.
So we're gonna have an evergreen topic. It's gonna be.
But Xbox 360 games.
Yeah. Okay. We're doing a hit 10. A hit 10, of course, is where we take a top 10 list from either the internet or one of ourselves, and we assign point values to each spot on the list. Number 10 on the list being worth 1 point. Number 1 on the list being worth 10 points. Everything inversed in between. Tavin and Connor will get 5 guesses each, alternating turns, and whoever gets the most points at the end wins.
Now, surely you have. Last time you didn't have repeat franchises. Surely you do this time, right?
I don't, though.
Oh, fuck.
Nothing from the first list. There are some multi-platform games that he said.
No, I think you're misunderstanding what Tavin's saying. I didn't have any repeat entries from other franchises on the PS2 list. In this list also, I don't have any repeat entries from, like, let's say...
So there's one Halo.
Example,
yeah, I figured.
Correct. Well, there's one Halo. There's one anything else that you'd think of as a Xbox 360 franchise or multi-platform that I might have played on 360.
Well,
Colin,
now we really test.
First.
Now we really test how well do we know Phil here, because this is not an
this
era.
Is an era that is from before I met you guys. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, said I'm going first.
When did Borderlands 2 come out?
360. Yeah, 360. I'm gonna go with Halo 3.
Halo 3 is number 1 on the list. Connor, congratulations. 10 points to you, sir.
This is the inverse of what happened last week.
Now it's a conversation of which one. Because I know what 2 and 3 are, but which one's which?
Do you?
Pretty sure I know. I'd be shocked if I didn't know. Oh, fuck.
Well, we look to you.
I thought of some.
Tavin Bothel.
That is some.
A lot more multi-platform shit going on here now.
It's true.
Fuck.
I have an answer for my next one. It's a matter of which one, though.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I think I know you're going the same.
I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm gonna say the one I already said. I'm gonna say Borderlands 2.
Okay.
Borderlands 2 is a good answer because it's number 3 on the list, getting you 8 points.
I know what number 2 is, but which
So
one?
I was actually wrong. Now I'm down to 2 between number 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all have number 2.
I would be shocked if it's not one of the 2 games that are in my brain.
I don't know which one's your favorite, but I'm going to go ahead and say Mass Effect 3.
Oh, that's a good ass fucking. I didn't even grab that one.
Yeah.
You see, I debated whether or not I was going to include the Mass Effect series because I do know it was like a timed exclusive for Xbox, right?
First
for
one
like
was.
a week or something like that.
First one was.
But
All of the marketing for the whole trilogy was Xbox.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, I don't think of that as an Xbox franchise, and I didn't play it on Xbox on any Xbox console. So having played it on the Master Collection or whatever they call it, what do they call it?
Edition.
Legendary Edition. I consider that more of a PlayStation thing, so I did not include it on here.
That's crazy. That's wrong, but that's crazy.
I know.
I understand. No, I completely understand why you think that's wrong, but
Get your reasoning.
I wanted to include all these other franchises.
You can't name 10 games better than any of those 3 games.
Well, let's be honest. If I did include it, Mass Effect 2 would have been number 1.
Really? I thought you were 3 guy.
Yeah, see, that was the question. I was going to say 2, but I was like, that's my... Honestly, I don't even... Yeah?
But, like, then I get... that Tavin raises a good point, too, because I think overall, like, the 3 of them, I do like 3 more. But, like, there's something about that suicide mission, you know?
Yeah, I don't like
Something
this.
about it.
Hold on. Let me pump the brakes. This is another case of, like, I really, really, really like this game, but the way people talk about it makes me talk negatively, which makes it sound like I don't like it. I love Mass Effect 2.
Tavin hates it.
Mm-hmm. Bitches about
this
it all the time.
This is 100% because I've just played the game too much. I've played Mass Effect in its entirety way too much. Mass Effect 2, the suicide mission, is great the first time. Every time after that, it's just a math problem.
We'll see, because I think back to our stream where we played it on Have You Ever Played and I was the most stressed on stream I've ever been going through that suicide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nerve-wracking.
Yeah. The first time I did it, it was incredible, especially because motherfuckers were dying.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. I didn't get the ship upgrade, so I lost 3 off the rip. Before I even got boots on the ground, 3 people were dead. Which sucked. Rest in peace, Jack. And then some other shit happened. Anyways.
Hit me with your second guess.
Yeah, this is tough.
All this talk, and I forgot what my next one was. I remember it.
I'm going to say, without knowledge of playing the other one, I'm going to say this game is a definitively better game, and hopefully it'll get boosted higher. I'm going to say Red Dead Redemption.
That was my next one.
It's on the list.
Damn.
I've never played the original Red Dead Redemption.
He always talks about 2 a lot. You've never confirmed that. He's never... See, that surprises me too. But when I think about it, you never actually mentioned the first game ever. You've always said
I've never actually played the original Red Dead Redemption. Yep.
What's wrong, Tavin? It's his games, not the best 360 games. You got to take your head out of that model. Put your headphones back. There you go.
Fucking go play Red Dead Redemption, Phil. Better than the second one.
Well, since...
No, there's no way.
No, it is. It's not.
My nostalgia will say it's got a better online.
It does have a better online, that's for sure. But my next one, again, it's a matter of which one, and I have the... But narrative-wise, this was the best out of all of them. I'm going to say Gears of War 3.
Fuck.
Gears of War 3. It's number 7 on the list, getting you 4 points.
I got to get creative.
Was that your next one?
It was my next one, yeah.
It's currently 14-8.
I'm surprised too, yeah. But he never played it. What are you going to do? Okay. Yeah, right? I have to. Okay,
I don't think BioShock... I don't think BioShock is on the list.
Oh, wait.
I had one and I've lost it.
There's only so many 360 games that exist.
Yeah.
You gotta randomly choose one.
You're such a bitch for grabbing Halo 3.
Hey, Kingdom Hearts was even more obvious last time.
It's true.
I don't like it, but I'm just going to reach for GTA 5.
GTA 5 is not on the list.
Yeah. All right. Again, I'll say this. Which is number 4? The fourth?
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, you're on guess number 4.
I'm going to say Portal 2.
Portal 2 is not on the list.
That's a PC.
Yeah, I agree.
Even with the orange box.
I did play I played the first Portal for the first time on 360. But
can we say generally collections are not going to be on these lists?
It wasn't a collection. Oh, I did it generally.
You're talking about the orange. He's talking about the orange.
I'm talking like orange box, legendary edition, master.
There is
just collections in general.
There is no collection on this list.
You said you had one, Tavin.
I kind of feel like generally that should be a rule. Is like no collections. That's cheating. I did have one. What was it? Oh, The Walking Dead, Telltale.
See, that one was another one I was thinking about. And while I do agree that it is a 360 game, I wanted to include these other entries more because I thought they showed more of like my character, you know.
You could still win, Tavin.
There's still hope.
I just need to make sure that my next final guess is
if he gets the number 2 answer, he can lock you up.
Yeah. Let's see. Been through Borderlands, Mass Effect.
Let me just help you both out real quick because you both only have one guess left. Currently, we have said number 7, Gears of War 3. We've said number 3, Borderlands 2, and number 1, Halo 3. We still have 10 through 8, 6, 5, 4, and 2.
Where's the darkness on? Darkness?
Yes.
I believe in a thing called love.
You know, it might not be it, but if it is, it'll be high. I'm going to go with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2 is not on the list.
Generally don't think Phil is a Call of Duty guy.
Yeah, but I thought like one of them was one that he thoroughly enjoyed. I thought it was 2.
Black Ops guy. Black Ops guy? Not my guess, but I'm a black.
Final guess here from Tavin Bothel. He's got to hit number 2 in order to win. Although that's not you can get number 4 and win.
Yeah, I read those too.
Yeah,
I'm trying to avoid those just because I read them and I would not have thought of them otherwise.
You can get 2, 4, and then you can tie if you get number 5.
I can guarantee you, Ian, he has not played Ninja Gaiden 2 or Fable. Well, he hates Fable.
It's not going to be Fable. Enrique in the chat said Minecraft or Fallout 3. I think both of those are solid answers.
They are.
Minecraft, not really an Xbox 360 game, but I understand that's where it made the first big jump to console.
And being in the age,
my first experience with it, yeah.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience that when it was out, it was on computer, and the move to Xbox 360 for people of my age, kids,
elevated it,
was like, wow, it's finally playable for everybody.
For sure.
Because everybody had basically a 360.
It was like this mystical thing on PC where like you knew a couple of kids who played it, but you hadn't played it yet, and they were like, oh man, I love it. You can do all these things. And you're like, the fuck is this? And you played it, and you're like, oh, it's Lego.
Came out. I remember it came out a few days or like maybe a week before my I think 13th birthday.
Fuck.
On
I know it's on the list. I know it's on the list. I didn't think of it. Wait, maybe it's not. Never mind. You're falling into a bad place.
You're talking about Hit and Run?
I guess Hit and Run would be the one that's on. If it's even there.
Who?
Fuck. I'm trying to dive into more of the like arcade class.
Oh yeah. I don't know how big Phil was into the arcade scene.
Yeah. Sitting here, I'm like, was he into Limbo? Was he into
the other one? Was
he into Super Meat Boy or Trials or?
I was waiting for you to say Castle Crashers.
Castle Crashers did cross my mind as well. But I don't think I've ever heard Phil talk about Castle Crashers. I feel like I would have heard him. I have heard him talk about Trials, but I feel like he's only talked about Trials because we've talked about Trials. I think the arcade's a bad way to go.
Know who had a game? Why should I help you?
I don't know.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're going to help him win?
Yeah. Stupid.
I don't think I've got it.
You got 3 options to either tie or win.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. You can tell Tavin really wants to win because he's like.
I mean, it's that, but I just can't think of a good answer. I don't know. I don't have a good one. I've got a bunch of games that I can think of, but I just nothing good. Can't believe Mass Effect's not on this list.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy that you can't think of a good game on the 360.
I think of good games. Yeah, good games. Not like a skin.
Yeah, there is.
Almost as if there's a conversation we're going to have about golden eras of games and how this is not one of them.
Tavin's just not being able to think of things. Being a loser.
They Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 is not on the list.
Yeah.
I think I know. I'm going to take a guess and say that number 2 was in fact Black Ops, because when you said it can't be Black Ops. Phil was so clearly
Come
smiling.
on, it can't be Black Ops.
No?
Nope.
No.
That was such a smile that was clearly trying to be broken out on Phil's face.
Because sure, I did enjoy Call of Duty Black Ops. I wouldn't consider myself a Black Ops guy. I'm a Modern Warfare guy. And which Modern Warfare is that? Modern Warfare 3 is my Modern Warfare game.
Well,
that's my era. Black Ops into Modern Warfare 3. Those are my 2 favorites.
Well, we'll see. And you guys are going to be upset because, well, mostly at yourselves, not at me. Number 10 on the list. Also, Tavin, it's not because I hear you guys talk about Trials. I literally talk about Trials all the time. Talk about Trials Evolution is my number 10.
That's the one. Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Best one.
Trials Fusion was really good too. Evolution's the best.
Wasn't Fusion on the 1?
Yeah. Fusion's on 1 and 4. Yeah.
And then number 9 got Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
Number 8, Limbo.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
Number 7 we said was Gears 3. Number 6, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
How did I not think about
the Assassin's Creed games, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Number 5, for you and me, Tavin. I don't know if Connor's played any of these games.
That's fascinating.
I forgot that was a 360 game.
What was?
Black Flag.
It would be, Black Flag would be my answer,
Yeah.
But,
play it on 360?
I was thinking, yeah.
Okay.
Played it for the first time on 360 and then on Xbox One.
Because Unity was a launch for Xbox One, but they also ported Black Flag same time, I think.
And when you bought the 1, there was like a double pack you can get with Unity and Black Flag for the 1.
Good deal.
Ein says that you're his favorite of the 3, by the way. I guess in relation to the Assassin's Creed love, I'll guess that one.
Yeah. Entry on here, number 6 was AC Brotherhood. Number 5, I was saying that me and Tavin have experience with the series, but I don't know if you played this. XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Oh, I have.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's a PC game, but okay, I'll allow it.
It was on Xbox 360.
I played it like a shit ton on 360.
Yeah, me too, but it's a PC game. Like Minecraft.
Oh, the next 360.
Number 4, which, shocking that y'all did not come up with this. Skyrim.
Oh, yeah. Stupid, yeah.
Doi!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? I always think of Oblivion when I think of, the Xbox 360 Elder Scrolls games, but yeah.
Because Skyrim never went away, so
I know.
You're just always thinking Skyrim is just on whatever the most recent thing is.
It's on the fucking Amazon Echo, bro. Come on. Number 3, Borderlands 2, which we said. Number 2, Batman Arkham City.
Yeah, I would not have put it that high, but valid. This is a
And
valid ass
Halo
list,
3.
Phil. I'm gonna say it. This is a valid ass list.
Thanks, man.
The things I would change, but this is valid. Mass Effect needs to be on here. Walking Dead needs to be on. Other than that, this is valid.
That leaves our final score with Connor Elliott at 14 points and Tavin Bothel at 8.
Can we have a talk about Assassin's Creed? Vic?
What about it?
Is this a franchise that's going to be forgotten to time?
Give it, I don't know how many years, because I was going to say 10, but I feel like that's not far enough.
I feel like it's not going to be. I think it's never going to be held up as one of the best franchises.
Yeah,
among the best.
My question is when does it stop getting entries?
Yeah,
because they can just keep going
soon. Listen, if Shadows fails, Assassin's Creed is done for a while.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
Yeah, but then somebody else is going to bring it back.
Eventually, but it'll be with Ubisoft being kind of in a shaky position right now. They wouldn't want to be like, hey, let's do this other game series again. I think not succeeding right now.
I think they reboot or remake the first game after Shadows. Regardless of Shadows' success, I think that happens.
Dude,
I know
if
that flies in the face of the statement I just made.
I would take a Assassin's Creed 1 like remake, like
me too.
Present day, that'd be pretty dope.
But make it play well.
Wouldn't it basically just be similar to Mirage, just more toned down?
That's why I said make it play well.
Oh,
but this is my thing.
Okay,
this is my thing. Is Assassin's Creed is a franchise that isn't aging well, like at all. I think Black Flag is the earliest title that like you could still pick up and play today, and that's mostly just because of ship combat.
Odyssey too, and probably Origins.
I think all of those games will be forgotten to time, and we're not.
You're talking about what's forgotten to time.
Yeah. When I'm talking like Prime Assassin's Creed, like that form, like I just don't. It was super popular and helping to establish what the open world formula was, but I just don't think you can go back and play them. So I'm curious if in 20 years, when we get another new generation of gamers coming through and getting and reaching into adulthood, do they care about Assassin's Creed? And do we, the current generation, care about Assassin's Creed enough to have the youth play it? You know how the old heads always go, oh, you got to go back and play the old Final Fantasies. You got to go back and play Mario 64. You got to go back and play Resident Evil 4. All that shit. Like, are we going to do that for Assassin's Creed? I don't know if we will.
I don't think so. For me, you know how people say like, oh, that's aging like fine wine. Like if it's like getting better with age, or like if it's really, really bad, like really fast, they'll say it aged like milk.
Yeah.
I think Assassin's Creed is aging like a glass of water that you like left out for a few days, right? Like, because you take a sip for the first day, you poured it, right, and then like you leave it out for a few days, you come back and it's kind of like it just tastes a little sinister. Like it's not going to hurt you, but like it just tastes a little
there's
off.
Some bacteria growing in there,
some iron.
Yeah, like, it tastes kind of off.
For the purposes of keeping that thought, I understand why you went with a liquid. I was kind of thinking it's aging like deli meat. Where like
I still feel like that's too fast.
It's good in the fridge for a little while, but eventually, you forget about it for 2 weeks, and you go back and you go, "Oh, there's something growing on that. We got to get rid of this."
I was thinking like leaving something out, but I understand what you mean by like having it in the fridge.
You can't leave wine out.
Sure, but I mean, yeah, you leave it in like a cellar,
Right, but you got to keep the problem with wine is you can't
bottle,
let air. Yeah. You can't let air in.
Why?
Can't let it aerate.
Yeah, because that's what spoils it.
And makes it into vinegar, or is that what you have to enclose it to have it turn to vinegar eventually?
No, you enclose it to keep the fermentation of it going.
Yeah, but isn't there like a whole thing with wine that if it sits for long enough, it just turns to vinegar at a certain point?
I couldn't tell you that.
If that's the case,
I've not heard of that.
I don't know enough about wine.
We know a lot about video games, I think.
We do know a couple things about video games.
And speaking of video games, let's move on after Connor trounced Tavin in that minigame to Connor's minigame.
Congratulations, Connor.
Take it. I'll take that first. The go first. What do you call it? The initial play. Point? The initial play to, choose the game that was clearly number one. Because why would it be anything else?
Halo 3 deserved.
Very much deserves.
I was taking a time code, so I could not bounce off of what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for you to say, like, I thought we were going to the next thing. But we are going to the next thing. Now it's my minigame. A new minigame.
It is your thing.
Called Death Match.
We played it before.
Have we?
We've done something similar to this, at least, yeah.
I remember we did, like, ranking which characters are the best in terms of, doing a little bit of ranking that way.
You gave us two characters. I mean, go ahead and explain it, but we've done it before.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. When you talk with your friends about, your dad being able to beat up your other dad, your friend's dad, you do the same exact thing with video game characters or movie characters. And I don't really care about movie characters in that way. So we're going to talk about video game characters going up in a fight against one another.
The more I think about it, we've definitely done this.
Okay, fair enough. And in that case, I might have done the first one. So I'm going to just do two.
Oh, you know what? We haven't done character versus character. We did could we beat up a character?
We definitely did that. That might be what it is.
In
that case, I'll go with all three of them. Let's see how long this goes.
Listen, there's no way we're just going to repeat content of one for one. Surely the conversation will be different, right?
We'll find out.
If you ever go back and re-listen to old podcasts, there's so many times where like I'm listening to us debate, go back and forth, and I have a thought like as Connor saying something, and I go, okay, but this, and then past me goes, okay, but this, like exactly how I would have worded it. And
word for word.
I go, yeah, I haven't changed. I have not changed in 2 years.
Well, the first matchup. I thought this was a pretty smart one. Who would win? Zagreus against Doom Guy, the Doom Slayer. Because both of them have a hell motif going on.
Okay. Zagreus doesn't die.
But it's all like who would win in a fight.
He only doesn't die because he goes back to Underworld.
Which that would count as like who would in that first encounter win. Yeah. And
oh, we're going to the first encounter. I thought you.
I mean, this is like
I almost want to go Zag versus Kratos. That might be more interesting.
It probably would have. Yeah.
But I'll take your bet
because both have the entire bit of going through a hellscape. Definitely Doom's is more intimidating.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What boons does Zagreus have access to?
That's the question. That's what we're going to have to debate because it's random. But the key thing here is that he's empowered by the gods. So he's got effectively holy powers regardless of who he's going with. If we're going to make let's say he's got Athena because that's kind of more defense-based. He kind of covers bases that way.
If he's got pretty much anything for Athena, he can deflect anything Doom Guy throws at him.
I think Doom Guy could probably manhandle him and just have no problem with it.
He's got the double dodge. He's got the iframes.
He does. That is true. But then again, it depends on which boons exactly.
I think Doom Guy honestly has a better shot than we're giving him credit for, right?
Because he's more effective than Zagreus. Zagreus has to go through those over and over and over again.
He's got the arsenal. Like he's got the art. Like I'm just the way I imagine this battle is in the gameplay of Hades, as if Doom Guy was the boss, right? And just think about got this BFG weapon that has an AoE effect and a massive explosion, right? That would be a move that you could not eat. You can't eat the damage of that move. That move would just fucking kill you, right? And then he's got this
time your dodge.
Yeah, you would have to time a dodge, and you got to get out of the way because it's a big AoE. And that's that's gonna drain health off of you, right?
I mean, that also shows that because you mentioned the iframe thing. That is true, but you have to remember, comparative to Doom Guy, who does Zagreus fight? Slow-moving guys that, maybe they'll jump really far distances to get to you versus Doom Guy who's just zooming all over the place. He's Doom Eternal, so he's got a grappling hook, so he's able to dodge things and get around even more efficiently.
I think Zag clears.
I don't think he clears.
No. He could win, but...
I think he could win, but I think this is a tough one. I think Doom Guy would be in a 4-boss run, Doom Guy would be at least boss 3, if not final boss.
Oh, yeah. Because that's the other thing, is that Zagreus did beat a god. But Doom Guy is feared in hell. See, demons are scared of him. That's pretty impressive.
I think Doom Guy is better than... I forget the names of the characters, but boss 3 in Hades, which is the...
Minotaur and Achilles. Oh, and Theseus.
It's Theseus. Yeah, you're right.
Doom Guy would fare better than those two.
He's not beating Hades.
I don't think he's beating Hades, but I think he's getting close. I think Doom Guy is the level of Zagreus is equivalent to the level of Zagreus where when you're grinding and getting better and you get up to Hades and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and then you fail and you go fuck, and then you go and do it again. I think that's where Doom Guy lives, is in that power level. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
The big thing
makes me just want to play a Hades game, but with Doom.
Not the worst matchup pairing. The big thing is just the boons, because I said Athena, but he can just have a lot of different tools potentially to deal with Doom Guy. I mean, certainly because of the fact that he can keep coming back. If we're talking in those terms, he'll eventually beat Doom Guy. But once again, we're talking, first encounter, they only meet each other once.
This is my thing. If Zagreus' build is based off of Ares, Zagreus is fucked.
That is true too. Yeah, he doesn't have much to.
Or
deal
even
with
if he's based off of Zeus, he's fucked.
Aphrodite, he's fucked.
Poseidon,
no,
he's
Aphrodite,
fucked.
Aphrodite, he can.
Aphrodite, he could win.
Yeah,
I think that guy.
No, I think Aphrodite, because if you have used the cast for Aphrodite, you can essentially immobilize him for 5 seconds, and then you can just deal as much damage as you want.
That's a good point.
That is true, but in speaking of the cast, that's going to be pretty much completely ineffective due to Doom Guy's speed. That thing's not quick enough to not dodge.
I think this also depends on what weapon.
I said cast. I meant call.
Call. I see.
Oh, okay. I think this also depends on what weapon Zagreus is using, because Doom Guy has the benefit of using his entire arsenal all the time. Zagreus is very limited in arsenal. If Zag is using a melee close quarters weapon like the sword, he's fucked.
No, I think if he goes range, he's immediately fucked. He doesn't have the same skill.
No. If he's range, he's moving around.
If he has the bow, the bow, the spear, or the shield, Doomguy is done. Or the gun. Like if he has the gun, the bow, the spear.
I'll give you spear, bow, and gun. I think sword and shield, Doomguy might win.
No, Shieldy's got it because you can just literally stand. If you can just hold the shield in front of you and block everything.
When that BFG and that chainsaw come out,
and also
that's my thing with the short range. If that chainsaw comes out and Zag has the sword, dead, gone. Mm-hmm. Like there's just no beating that chainsaw.
But he does have area of effect with the sword, which makes it to where you could keep him at distance to not even get to that point. So even with a melee weapon, he still has a way to deal with it.
I still think it's short, because that chainsaw is going to be a wide-ranging sweep. That's going to be a long sweep that you got to get the fuck off.
I think the only way Zag loses is if he has the fists or the sword. I think that's the only way that Zag.
Oh, the fists! Yeah, he's done with the fists. I forgot about the fists.
Again, the range stuff. Guy has more access to them, and also they just are more efficient than those weapons are.
Yes,
as a general thing.
Yes, but if you have the ranged weapons, Zag's build is naturally going to be focused more around dodging and moving around.
But then BFG kind of makes it to where you're hard to get a shot at.
That was our first thing, is if Zag can get out of the way, and if his build is focused on getting out of the way, the BFG can be countered.
I think it's too wide of an expansion.
You don't.
So let's talk. How is Doomguy's? Let's talk Doomguy's functionality of glory killing. So, obviously, I think that would be Doomguy has a stagger move, and then he can then move on you and deal massive damage. I don't think I think his glory kill move would not immediately kill Zag, but it would be critical damage.
Oh, it definitely
would be like using it on a boss, right? Like where you whittle a boss's health down in Doom, and then you have a bit where you move to the next phase in the boss, right?
That's it exactly.
That would not be the case because you have to remember Zagreus is just a human-sized normal guy, all things considered. If he gets his hands on him, it's just I'm gonna put you into a ball and play basketball with you. All of those big guys, he has to get to a point.
And Zag has the power of gods, and he's eating damage that is greater in Hades. He eats damage from bosses that are greater than Doomguy's glory kill.
But he doesn't
base the glory kill based off of boss fights in Doom.
Mm-hmm. But even then, he is still just if he doesn't have a protection from one of the gods, I really do think he's just gonna rip him apart easily. And that's more damage than Zagreus ever takes in the entirety of Hades.
This is the problem. Is Zagreus is too loose. We have to pick a power level of Zag.
That's the thing, because in addition to the boons of the gods, I think regardless of what other, physical traits we ascribe to Zagreus over Doomguy or whatever, what would make him win is death defiance. He has a lot more opportunities just to live. Whereas Doomguy, he gets taken down once, it's done. Zagreus has a whole pool of stuff to access.
I don't think Death Defiance is fair then. I think we take that away from Zag.
Well, no, because, that's part of Zag's
of his kit,
right?
It's part of his thing.
Yeah, but, at that point, give Zag everything.
Clears him.
That's not true. You could, going up against Kratos. Kratos is still killing him despite that. Asura from Asura's Wrath, dogging him. Then, of course, you have, I think, Raiden. Raiden, I think, is going to beat him. He's going to go through and cut.
From Mortal Kombat or from...
No. Well,
Metal Gear Raiden is not beating Zag.
Cyborg?
There is zero...
You've never played
zero
chance.
He's still just
zero chance.
Huh?
He's still just a dude.
He is a cybernetically enhanced guy who can't even, he resists pain. The whole point is that he has inhibitors preventing him from doing pain.
Connor, I've seen a superpowered Raiden in MGS4. He's not winning.
I'm not talking about 4.
He almost loses to Armstrong.
Yeah, the guy was indestructible. Literally nothing could get through him.
Zag destroys Raiden, bro. It's not even close.
It's not.
You guys both haven't played Rising Revengeance. He does crazier shit than Zagreus ever does.
That's because a stylistic of game and Platinum wanting you to feel like a badass. That's not actually how Raiden would actually be in a fight.
So that's the same exact card.
If you plop Zagreus in the middle of the Metal Gear universe, no matter what kit he has, he's clearing that entire, anyone in that entire franchise.
There's
until they go up and above with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Well, Vamp would win.
No,
okay, if you're saying Vamp would win, Raiden and Rising Revengeance.
Vamp has self-healing.
So? He can't resolve himself.
Connor, Vamp and Raiden fight, spoilers, and Raiden gets his fucking ass kicked.
And that's the thing. You're going off of 4. I'm going off of the game where he's batshit insane, doing crazier things. If he were to fight Vamp in that form, his self-healing factor doesn't matter. He's going to do the thing where he cuts him up into about 20 different pieces.
And then Vamp will be back in 15 minutes.
How did he die? He still died. It didn't save him against Solid Snake.
I can't tell you. That's spoilers.
So there you go.
I can't tell you. That's spoilers. You know, it's spoilers.
He died. I guess I spoiled that he died.
I can't. It's not even that he dies, Connor. It's just I mean, spoilers. They beat Vamp. You know, but how do they beat Vamp? I'm not going to fucking tell you that.
I'll find out. But either way,
it's fucking stupid.
I think
Easy
with the
Zagreus, dude.
What?
Easy Zagreus wins.
Not Phil. You're getting blinded, I think, by your love of Zagreus.
I think it's just how superpowered. How this is the thing is Zag is too. He's too fluid. He's too varied. We have to set establishments of where in the power scaling is Zagreus. A fully powered Zagreus has the full mirror unlocked, has all the weapon attributes, and blah 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 blah.
If we're giving Doom Guy his full kit, we have to give Zagreus at his full strength, right? Like.
But then that's still the problem of what would his full strength be, because he gets certain gods lucked out of getting their boons, and usually gets like 3, maybe 4 different gods, maybe even 5. I never actually counted now that I think about it, but he has a cap.
It's usually not more than 4 different gods.
Yeah,
I think we should limit Zag to no more than 3 leaded runs.
Sure.
I think that's a power level that like makes sense for this conversation. If we turn everything on for Zag, like there's no conversation.
Well, you can't have everything turned on, so that's like he's incapable of having that be a thing. But I think the Death Defiance makes up for any argument we can have about what we've been talking about. How much damage they do.
What's the next one?
All right, Zagreus is the winner. I will delete Doom Guy from this list. Next one, Jin Sakai versus Goro Majima.
Sure, he doesn't feel the pain, but you can rip off his arms and legs. That's my point. Like, you can still disable Raiden. Like, Raiden is not. He's just not. No, he's not what you think he is.
He can become a nugget himself, even after he nuggets other people in Rising Revengeance.
Problem is, you gotta get to where you can rip his arm off. I don't think Zagreus is strong enough to do that. Besides the boon from the gods. Like the big thing's the boons, but in terms of like physical, like getting up and fighting against him with a sword, Raiden clears him. It's and there's no defense against that either. Like besides,
you talk about me having too much love for Hades. You're way overblowing Raiden.
You are so wrong.
That's because Raiden in Rising Revengeance does crazier shit than most other characters do, and you say that doesn't matter.
That's only through presentation. That's only through presentation.
He literally does more than just in presentation. You control him during some of his feats that he does.
Okay, but if
you still see him do it.
If you put Zag in because we were having the whole conversation inside the world of Hades. Yeah. If you put Zag in Rising Revengeance, he's doing fucking stupid shit in Revengeance to where you, Connor, would be like, all right, this is like unbelievable. Like he would break your level of immersion.
Zagreus?
Yes!
He's not that crazy.
Yes, he is!
He's not that crazy. We're not talking about Asura's Wrath guy here. We're talking about Zagreus. He's He's more grounded than you're giving him credit for.
No, he's not!
He is. He is. He's way more grounded. Literally, too. He's on the ground all the time.
You just argued for Death Defiance. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm talking about his, the abilities of, Raiden to just slice through basically anything.
Raiden is still a human being. Zagreus is not a human being.
Tavin, don't you know, Gorgons are real, right? Like, they'll just look at you and turn you into stone. Like, Greek mythology is the most grounded mythology there is. No.
You're comparing,
sex with an animal. Someone will have sex with an animal and make a
You're just pulling the fact that Raiden slices Metal Gear Rays in half. That's not going to do anything to Zag.
It's literally going to do everything.
No,
he's going to cut him in half.
He's going to raise his shield and be fine.
He's going to cut
Raiden,
he won't be with that
Raiden's sword does not cut through Zagreus' shield.
No, it does not.
This is a dumb conversation.
Well, Tavin, the entire idea of competing video game characters is inherently ridiculous.
Banging action figures.
It is literally just that.
And then making them kiss.
Hey, thank you, Erecto Rockter, for cheap viewers on stream.
Yeah, I'm not logged in because I'm having to deal with it. Doesn't matter.
All right,
but yeah,
next.
Jin Sakai versus Goro Majima. I did Goro. I was gonna do Kiryu.
Fucking crazy, dude.
What?
If you did Kiryu, I mean, I don't know. I think Majima is.
Goro has it doesn't appear in Yakuza 0, but he gets a wakizashi. So it's like a short sword.
This is a technique versus
fucking psycho.
Just brute. Yeah, just brute conversation.
I think it's Majima, and he clears him. Not even gonna lie.
You get a stealth attack off. It's not that.
But that's not what I mean, are we going stealth or are we going head on like fight?
You have to equip the character in the world that they best know, right?
Like a big thing for like Jin is he uses like the fear like that he inflicts on like the Hun army to like kind of stun them.
Yeah,
Majima's not flinching.
Yeah, but you're still getting smoke bombs and hiding in shadows and running around and all of the other gadgets and stuff that Jin Sakai has.
Give Majima the Marlin cannon and it's over.
I also don't think Goro's like disarming Jin. So like, is he just gonna take a sword to the fucking face and like as if it's not, like we still got
he'll catch it with his fucking teeth.
He would be more apt to do that than not. But yeah, I mean, as far as the stealth mechanics go, definitely they would engage in a fight straight up, but Jin has tools to go into stealth from there.
I think stealth disables Majima enough to win in a straight up fight.
But that's the other thing is that would Majima really be that susceptible to that? He's not going into grass looking for the guy. He's reacting to when he comes and strikes him.
Okay, you want to talk about stealth? I know y'all haven't played Yakuza Kiwami, but he pops out of nowhere and just
I've seen that.
He jumps out of it, like literally anywhere and he surprises Kiryu-chan.
That is true. Literally, you'll be walking by like a trash can.
But Kiryu's more of a brute than Majima is. Like,
the point is that Majima's like stealthy.
I don't think he's stealthy. I think he's just popping out of nowhere and Kiryu's not paying attention.
That feels the same way to Majima.
Give Majima either breaker or baseball bat stance and he destroys Jin.
But the thing is, Jin waged a whole one-man army against an empire invading his land, and he did well. You know? But then again, though, he did mix it up with stealth tactics, not just going at them.
But he didn't fight the whole army head on.
Yeah, but also neither one could do that, so it does.
Majima could face a whole army head on.
No. I don't think that.
Absolutely, he could.
Maybe if we're talking about pirate game.
I think they do just as well with their own skill sets against a group of 20. Like, I don't think a group of 20 faces like either of them really. Like, they go through it different ways. Majima just takes them all out, and we also have to remember, like, you can build up Majima as you want in your head because the gameplay makes you feel that way. Majima's just fighting regular dudes.
Yeah, regular dudes.
Like, honestly, the army that Jin fights is probably more challenging than the street level thugs that Majima fights.
I'll push back first on them just being street thugs. I mean, you've seen, once again, these people.
I mean, they escalate, like, when you get to the upper crime bosses and stuff, like, they turn into, like, freaks and stuff. But, like, I mean, when we ground the conversation in like, actually have, like, some push and pull, like, a lot of those street thugs that he fights that gives you the idea that he's super powerful are just, like, fucking halfwits. I think Jin Sakai clears most bosses in a Yakuza game. And those bosses would give Majima trouble.
You can say something, Phil, because I'm leaning towards Jin solely because I think of that scenario in Yakuza 0 with Kiryu running away from all those gang leaders. And it was like this big, like, oh, you're being chased down. You gotta, you're fighting tooth and nail just to escape these guys.
That's Kiryu, not Majima.
Yeah, but they're like comparable in strength. They're like
the fucking same.
In fact, Kiryu's probably stronger than Goro. He is actually. I think he's definitively beat him.
He is.
So if he's struggling with that, Jin has faced more opponents in greater numbers and beat them. And to Tavin's point earlier about them being more skilled than random thugs means that that's a bit more impressive.
Y'all can outvote me. I'm not swaying away from Majima.
That's fair.
I think you're playing into too much of the reality of a Yakuza game and not enough into the reality of a Ghost game. Like, not to mention that Jin fights a more varied amount of enemies. He's got big guys, small guys, armored guys. There's a technology disadvantage that he tackles sometimes. Like Jin is equipped for any situation, and Majima's equipped for running into a group and beating everybody up. And the people he beat up are not.
I like to see Jin do something when Majima just straight up fires a Marlin can at him.
I'm guessing it's an actual Marlin.
No, it is literally it's a bazooka. Not a bazooka. It's essentially a grenade launcher that's in the shape of a Marlin.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
is that like a one-time thing, or is that a thing?
No.
When I think of these guys, if I'm thinking of the kit, I'm just thinking, all right, so Majima's going to pick up a fucking like stone statue and swing it around, or he's going to pick up like that's
what Kazuya does.
A big rock and swing it around, or something like that. They both do that.
They both do stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But no, I You talk about realism in either of these games? No, there's no way.
I'm saying I'm not talking like realism. I'm talking like the reality of the world that is built by the developers.
Which, to add on to that, Jin is trained as like a warrior, specifically to fight, whereas Goro, he wasn't really trained. He's just a good fighter, but he's not in the same discipline category as.
The more we talk this out, I think Jin takes this and he doesn't even. I don't even think he gets pressed.
But Phil has played more of Yakuza games, and that Marlin cannon just seems like he could whip that out.
Yakuza games are all the fucking same.
They're not. Especially if you see the pirate game, that is not the same as Yakuza.
Well, yeah, okay, they're getting experimental now, but there were 6 Yakuza games that were copy and paste again and again and again.
Does that still mean that he's losing to Jin?
If this is a fight where it's just one-on-one, they meet in an alley and they both know of each other, like there's nowhere to go or anything, yes, Majima might win, especially if they're using fists. But like, I fully disagree. You give Majima a bat against a Jin Sakai sword, Jin is fucking wiping the floor with him. Jin is a master swordsman. The master swordsman. Like, just because a big brute with a big stick is like swinging it really hard, bro is deflecting, bro is dodging, bro is like,
he's got stances, variety.
Yeah, like
Jin is
equipped. Let me just list off some feats of strength and agility from Goro Majima real quick. Feats of strength. Majima can break a neon sign over a man's head. Same with a bicycle. Hits a guy over the head with a baton so hard
Swinging
he
a
flips
bicycle's not that
270
crazy.
degrees.
Breaking it?
Huh?
Swinging a bicycle is not that
He's
crazy.
breaking the bicycle.
I'm saying breaking it over his head in half.
Yeah, you swing a bike at a guy, it's gonna break.
Yeah, but it's not going to break in half.
Not gonna break in half.
Like the metal bends, the metal like gets fractured. That's just not
The
happening.
metal would
hard
absolutely. Do you guys understand how weak a bicycle actually is?
But yeah, that's the point though. You're hitting it against a guy's head to the point where he does it in a single blow. That's
Catches a sword in his teeth and holds it against a person swinging down. Punches a man hard enough that he flies back and knocks over the other 2 guys.
This is the same argument that Connor just made with Raiden, except for Yakuza, and now I got to make it against Phil, is where you're getting carried away by the flair and the presentation of a Yakuza game versus the presentation of a Ghost game. Like,
see,
dodges point blank.
The problem with your argument,
if you put either of these characters in each other's games and they are both and they both become the reality of the other's game, either way you do it, Jin wins.
I will push back on the frame of like that's the stylized version of the game, so you can't put that in there. You know, that's
you're missing my point. Is it's not about you have to put the characters in a world, right? Now it can be a combined world. We could talk about that, but that's a lot of ideas and thinking that I don't think we have time for. Mm-hmm. Or you can just stick one of them in the world and make that character make sense in that world, right? Because a world is crafted and built, so you have to make that character make sense. So you have to. Somebody's like both are getting nerfed or buffed in some way, right? And I think in any reality, playing to either world, I think Jin wins. Because Jin is actually trained for guys like this, and Majima's just a fucking psycho.
The counteract to that is the base area they would go in. I'm thinking in terms of what anime fighting tournaments do. You're in an arena, there's no environmental advantage to one or the other. It's like a flat piece of ground. Who's winning? Which I guess if we say that...
Majima. I said that.
Majima easy.
But like an open area where he has full length of movement, like Jin can make as much space as he needs to, whereas in Yakuza, generally it's caught down into like a short place, like a small area. Whereas Jin, he makes the most.
But this was
from far away.
Arrows.
Okay,
knives.
Majima can dodge point blank gunshots.
This is why you got to stick it in the world. It's not about the environment you put them in; it's the world you put them in.
It's very much about the environment.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but the world you're saying, well, we're going to have to limit what someone's capable of doing just to make it fair. That's not the point of this.
My point is, if you put Jin Sakai, the level of training, and his kit and all of that, you put that in the world of Yakuza and make it make sense from a gameplay perspective. Like if you literally pull Jin out and put him in Yakuza and make him make sense for a Yakuza gameplay, the gameplay you see in Yakuza that makes you go, oh wow, this is a wild power fantasy, would be exemplified with a character like Jin Sakai.
Have y'all seen
Jin would literally be turning invisible in the battle arena.
There's a from in the similar vein of this conversation. I think it's like a Reddit thread where people are talking about like who would win in a fight between Kratos and Kiryu, and everyone that has played like the Yakuza games, like they're all saying Kiryu, and people are like really confused because like they just say, yeah, Kratos would do this, but then someone says, yeah, Kiryu does the tiger drop, it negates all damage. And then funny. That's just like literally the copy pasta they keep saying is like, yeah, but there's this, but the tiger drop negates all damage. He doesn't take any damage.
Tiger drop's pretty impressive.
Tiger drop would bounce off of Kratos like it would
Tiger drop negates all damage though, so
you wouldn't take damage from it.
Cool. So it's just two guys not doing anything to each other. All right.
Yep. Tiger drop negates all
damage. And Kiryu
damage,
just spamming the one move. Get tired eventually.
I think due to the amount of enemies that Jin's able to handle, as well as his greater skill in close quarters combat, which I feel like even with Goro's, all the things you say, they would end up getting in that kind of fight. Goro he's not a ranged guy. He gets in and he...
Enrique's on my side here. He's like, come on, bro. Like, it's just not fair. Like, I'm literally like talking like Jin would have superpowers in comparison to what Majima could do in the world of Yakuza. Like he would turn invisible, he'd get behind you for no reason, like
no fucking way.
But he does that with like smoke bombs.
Yeah, I'm saying Jin would like the like Naruto disappear and reappear behind you shit. Jin would be doing that.
See, that's where you're all of a sudden creating things that a character can do by this whole entire perspective.
This is why I'm saying you have to insert them in the world, or else the conversation doesn't make any sense. Because I'm literally taking a literal cartoon character against a gritty, realistic samurai.
No.
The cartoon character's going to win every time because he's got hammer space.
What you're doing is you're overinflating how serious and grounded Jin is. He's able to take a bunch of hits that he otherwise wouldn't be able to do. He's able to, like you said,
it's a video game.
Yeah, that's why the conversation's supposed to be like fun. You're not supposed to be like, oh, well, he has different things depending on when he's here versus when he's here. That doesn't matter at that point. And at that point, you can just basically say, well, I put him in this scenario in this area, and so he would win because he's in this universe.
I stand on it. Like the enemies you fight in Yakuza games are specifically like a bunch of fucking toddlers because they want you to feel like a power.
Is why I think
Jin doesn't fight toddlers. He fights killers.
Yakuza, you definitely fight killers.
Eventually, but those are like the big dudes who do give you trouble. And I'm saying Jin would fucking wipe the floor with every single one of those big killers in the Yakuza world.
I definitely think that's an over-exaggeration in the same way it would be Zagreus sweeping Doom Guy. But I still ultimately agree that Jin would win out against Goro. Both of them do wacky shit at the end of the day. One of them is stylized in a certain way.
If you put Jin in that world, Jin's stylized wacky shit that he does would be like, what the fuck are we doing?
No. Yeah, Jin inflicts fear on the Mongols. Majima inflicts fear on everyone.
That's not true.
He doesn't inflict fear on anybody.
No, he definitely doesn't.
No, it's just...
kidding me? You're talking Zero. Zero, that is a different character than everything else past that point. Like, you see him...
I mean, I have him, in Zero, but in-game Majima, where he is crazy.
Yeah. Like, he's scaring that doctor guy just by being there. He's like, you're going to take care of her, right? And he's being sincere. He's not being an asshole to him. Yeah, and the guy's like, sure.
Again, but these are the people in that world. Like, they're a bunch of fucking crybaby nothings.
That's why Jin wouldn't be affected in the same way, neither one would affect each other from how they act. They'd be on equal level in that regard.
If it's a fist fight, sure, Majima if you want.
Yeah.
Literally do anything else, and it's Jin.
When they have their access to their tools, Jin has master swordsmanship, like you said. But everybody has their own take. That's the fun thing about it, and why it ultimately doesn't matter. Because you can, sometimes it does, because sometimes, definitively, a character beats another character.
Literally fought an army of trained warriors. Exactly. Outblank claw machines. Like, how does that guy win? Exactly.
Dexterity. Way more dexterity.
On the claw.
You kidding me? If you could do that efficiently, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Dude.
That feels just like Marlon Cannon. He's thinking that. He's thinking that right now.
I'm just talking. I just go to just breaker stance and destroying hordes and hordes of enemies.
Hordes of fucking, like, little crybaby plushies.
They're pretty tough guys.
Taking bullets and dodging bullets, and it's crazy.
Grenade launchers in the Ghost games, right? Like there's enemies with like grenade,
like the fire,
yeah,
timer, but it's way less effective than a modern. I can shoot multiple rockets at you in quick succession.
Okay, but the rockets in Yakuza are not real rockets. That's why they survive them.
Maybe not with Goro. He kills
like
people.
that. Like that'd be getting hit with like a confetti grenade. Be like, ow, yeah, that hurt.
I'm
That
not
is true.
voted.
They don't kill them.
I just hard disagree, so it's fine.
Or like getting hit with an airsoft grenade is probably a more realistic thing. Like, ow, I don't want that to happen to me again. Like, that's what a grenade launcher does in that world.
I do more than that.
This is why the conversation of the world matters.
Yeah,
what
but
world are we placing
that
this
knocks
fight in?
that stuff knocks you on your ass. Like it makes you send you like flying and potentially groups of people as well. So it has impact. It's just not deadly impact.
Regular people in the Yakuza world still die of regular things. Just Majima is
only when the narrative wants to, because the narrative is not well written.
That's one sequence during that game.
That's
and that's a criticism.
That's just the rule for that type of storytelling. Like is like that's the what is it? The shit, they make fun of Uncharted all the time. The dissonance. The narrative gameplay dissonance. That's what Yakuza like lives and breathes and dies on that hill of, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Only things in cutscenes matter. That's how that world operates. Is cutscenes matter?
No, that's
gameplay doesn't.
That's not true at all, considering that the legend of Kiryu gets started in Yakuza 0, like him breaking out of a whole entire compound of Yakuza guys, facing waves and waves of them. That's something he did. Him escaping all the time from all those people that were hunting him in the city, that happened.
You're applying more weight than what the actual creators are.
I think they're more selective with it, sure, but all of it still has weight to it, just varying degrees of it.
All right, let's move on.
I'm assuming we won't get to your topic.
No.
So I'll go with the last one. You know, what characters would I pit against one another that have similarities enough to where it makes sense? The next one is...
It's going to be outrageous.
No, it's not. It's very grounded, actually. The most grounded so far.
Like Sephiroth versus Isabella.
Minato. Isabella is in Smash Brothers. Oh, but so is
it's just
Sephiroth,
Isabel, but okay.
Isabel.
Who cares?
My apologies. You just had a bunch of people.
Fuck that little rabbit fucking dog thing.
You don't even know.
A rabbit. It's a dog.
I said dog thing.
Rabbit dog.
Who cares?
Next, the final, Nathan Drake versus. Can you guys guess? Take a guess.
If you say Joel, Nathan Clear.
No, Lara Croft.
Oh,
The new Lara Croft.
oh, Nathan Clears.
Nathan Drake. Yeah.
My key reason why I did this one, right? She took once again, this is narrative dissonance, but it's in the world. It happened. She took a pole through the stomach and lived and walked around and did things that Nathan Drake would not be able to do.
So you know the quote unquote damage you take in Uncharted, Nathan's not actually taking it.
Yeah.
Because he's just lucky.
But that's the thing. The whole thing about the piercing, getting personally stabbed, that definitely happened. Because Lara Croft does the same exact thing.
Yeah.
There's a case in the game where he gets injured and he, he gets shot in the stomach in that cutscene, and he's not dealing with it the same way Lara Croft is. Again,
I would argue a bullet's worse than a thing through the leg.
I think it's at that point. Wait,
bullet in the gut is worse than a spike through the leg.
No, she landed on something, didn't she? Yeah, she landed on something that
she lands on a big spike. Yeah,
yeah.
A bullet.
It's like through a midsection, though.
Yeah, it's like through a midsection. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, I must be. Yeah, but she's still fucked up for a while and has to go and bandage it and heal it. Nathan Drake just waits a couple seconds.
Yeah, he did eventually just go he did climb after that.
Yeah, he climbs, jumps, he gets into a full combat encounter, and you are not inhibited at all.
So let me change this up a little bit, because that was the crux of she's more tougher than he is.
Nathan's fucking wiping the floor with her.
Original Lara Croft.
I don't know enough about this, but I would still say Nathan probably wins.
She's fought dinosaurs, like T-Rexes.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of.
I mean, Nathan Drake fought the
wildebeests,
the weird things in the first one. Yeah,
I think T-Rex would kill any of those.
He fights tiny hulks
in the second one.
Yeah, the Yeti guys. Those are a lot of big muscly guys.
Third one doesn't count.
Third one does not count. No,
the drug-infused rage. Well, God, that game sucks.
It doesn't suck.
Nothing happens in 4.
Nothing
Nothing
crazy.
Supernatural happens in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nathan Drake would still win. I forgot about the
Yetis all just regular guys in 4.
Again, Nathan got shot and was uninhibited. Narrative gameplay dissonance is a problem here. Though I guess if you apply that logic to okay, hold on. Let me stick with my logic that I've been doing the whole time. If you put Lara Croft in the Uncharted world, Lara might win.
Why?
Wider arsenal. This is the original one.
And they would also come with their arsenal. It's like time warp of where am I? I'm in this place. I have my stuff on me, but where is this place? That's what I think of. Which is why we say they have their access to their kit, so to speak. Even then, I just don't think it has that much of an impact, regardless of where you put them in a fight. They're so evenly matched, and they have equal feats relatively.
Yeah.
That you can just kind of say like, fuck it. And you know what? I guess the final argument for
like dudes in head to toe bulletproof armor, he took down no problem with a gunshot wound.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to end the podcast, because I think that's more than a good enough way to end the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, gents, for joining me. Make sure that if you couldn't catch us live, that you're going over to YouTube and subscribing over on youtube.com/@TwoPennyGames. And if you're only catching us on YouTube, we record these live every Monday afternoon Central over on twitch.tv/2pennygames. Follow all of us in the description, all of our socials, and let us know what your favorite character is and why you think they would beat any other video game character. Let us know what your favorite Xbox 360 game is, and just chat around in the comments. Tell us how wrong we are. And boys, let's go ahead and say goodbye.
Goodbye to the people.